You're watching Flippy James Disc Golf. My name is James. Happy you're here. Today in this video, we're doing a one disc round with the new Paul McBeth Discraft Kratos. This is like the new Luna with a bead on it. And I've thrown a Luna in the past, but not like I threw it all the time and played rounds with it. I grabbed one from a friend, threw it, and what I remember was it was more straight than I expected based off looking at the numbers and then throwing the disc. And so I did throw this a couple times in my backyard, and the numbers for this are 3303. I feel like it's going to be the same situation, only I do prefer the bead on this versus not having one. I'm throwing and putting with the same disc. I didn't pick up another one. I didn't pick up a Luna. I think I said this in a previous video where I want to just start doing disc reviews with only one disc and not comparing it to the other one. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, actually. I normally go straight at it or flick a forehand. I'm not doing that with this disc. I've seen some people take this right gap and try and get lucky with the trees lately, and so we're going to start off and do that. I'm just beating it in. I already scuffed this up first throw here. Wow. It's not horrible. I do like beaded putters versus non-beaded putters. I never bagged a Luna because I wasn't a fan of how short the bottom half of the disc was and how rounded the whole thing felt. When I held it, it just seemed like it just never felt good to my hand. Like, I guess where my hand size, where my knuckles wrapped around it, it was just like nothing screamed to me, put this in your bag. Now that it has the bead on it, that little bit extra just sits perfectly in this groove, and holding onto it like throwing wise, like it makes me feel confident. Some people started walking up and I was mid-throw and I'm like, don't hit them. Probably right around the circle's edge here. Dirt. I did put a little anhyzer on that one. I don't know why. And that was nose down. Huh. This hole's kind of a nemesis for anybody who plays it. And that's why we're going to skip it. If you're new to the channel, this course is a course that I do a lot of putter reviews on. A lot of short holes in the beginning, and then towards the end we have longer holes. So you're going to get to see some like warm-up shots, get a feel for the disc shots, and then when we go out there is like back nine, we'll have some more full power throws, but also by then we'll be comfortable to rock out the last hole. This one says 164. I usually throw this standstill with an Envy. There are a lot of discs with 3303 as their flight numbers, and I kind of thought that first throw was going to be like, oh, actually, it might be. But so far, I don't think it's a 3303 because I feel like it's not as overstable as my Envy. Like I said, we do have some short holes, but I'm going to put it on anhyzer here in a little bit. See if we get that fight out of it. Fan grip, placement shot. Oh, that was not the right placement. YouTube redo. Some beaded putters, most beaded putters, the bead to me is like, it's round. It's like a perfect circle on the bottom of the disc. This one, I don't even know if you can see it. Like there's a bead, right? That's chewed up. Hold on. It's hard to see, but it feels like it comes to more of a point. It's sharp would be maybe a word. It's not like, oh, there's flashing. Oh, it's going to cut your finger. Oh, it's uncomfortable. It just comes to more of like a point than a rounded curve. Does that make sense? Let's fix this shot. Left or right wind. Dude, that was fixed. That was what I was going for. Somebody save me from my bad throws. There we go. Third time's a charm. Kind of felt like Paul McBeth there. No. We're going to throw twice on this hole. One, forehand for comedy. Second one, we're going to do like a soft backhand anhyzer, see if we flex it in. It's another shorty, like 121 this says. That wasn't that funny. It's way more hot than I thought it was going to be today. I didn't check the temperature, wore pants. It's 76 out. What am I thinking? Easy layup. This is the I hit an ace here, first time on camera hole, but also the don't hit a tree hole. That tree I hit was fine. It's more like these two behind me that you want to hit like pass first. So like the tree I hit, it's okay. I don't think I've ever used this angle on this hole because I try to get the basket and the shot, but we're going more so for how the disc flies in this one. We have a headwind. We're throwing downhill. This is where I want to see the stability of it, because even if it doesn't fade hard, I don't want it to turn at all. I don't know if I put that on anhyzer, and I don't know if I was in the way. It was on an angle and turned right the whole time, but I don't know if that was just the angle I put it on and it was trying to fight out the whole time and the headwind's keeping it that way. Plus downhill, if you didn't know, headwind and downhill makes things very unstable. One thing that I want to make sure I say, that I don't know if I've like said it in the past or if I did, if it came out the right way, but just because a disc doesn't fly like the flight numbers on it doesn't make it a bad disc. It might just not been the disc you were looking for. And so if this thing goes super straight with a little bit of fade, like that's a great disc. That's something you look for, right? With that being said, I do think companies should try and make their flight numbers as close as possible to how the disc actually flies. But if it's like a little off here and there, like we can't be that mad about it. Get out, throw the disc, figure out what it does. And that's also why I wanted to just bring one disc out, is because sometimes when I have another one to compare it to, I kind of judge it based off of what the other disc did. And that's not, in my opinion, the best thing for a disc review. And so I don't know what plastic this is. It's like that speckle, opaque, slightly grippy. I should look it up. I'll put it on the screen. It is going to beat in fast. That's for sure. All right, we have a left to right, slightly tailwind. Like it's like this way. We are going to put it on anhyzer, see if it has any fight in it. And then it should leave us for a nice like little approach shot to the basket. As soon as I started walking and turned the camera off, we got a huge headwind. Like it went almost the complete opposite way. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, see, that's a very soft throw. Like very soft approach shot. Like we're maybe 200 feet, and that didn't want to fade like a 0-3 fade would, in my opinion. How many times have I said that this video? Of course these are my opinions. Like, are they your opinions? If you have a Kratos that you picked up, do you think it's overstable, or is it more of a straight flyer? Let me know in the comments if you grabbed one. Also, you might be able to help. Is the Kratos or a Luna something that you like want to putt with more or throw more? Or is it like either or? Because some discs I'd rather just throw and not putt with. This one kind of feels like I'd like to do both. One more forehand for comedy. Oh, I'm very happy with that, actually. Now, I am not the guy to get forehand tips from, but two things that's really helped me with my forehand, especially with putters. One, for every disc, is starting with it here and coming around. Because I used to feel like I just went like this, like try and keep everything on this horizontal plane. But whenever I'd come around and then here, I think it puts the disc in a better position for me. The second thing, the one that helps more with putters and approaching, is really focusing on letting it come off of my middle finger. Like I forehand, you know, I do the stack grip, kind of like, you know, when you throw a baseball, you're using your whole hand and your wrist, but you're like flicking it off the seams with your fingers. And for the longest time, I was really just using my whole hand to release the disc instead of letting it roll off my middle finger and really feeling that come out of there. So, like I said, not the best person to ask for forehand tips, but if either of those helped you, that would make me happy. Now, if you want some putting tips, shit, I thought I was going to make that. So just getting a quick round in with this, I'm kind of a fan of the Kratos. At first, when my friend Kyle, he picked it up for me, I paid for it. He said, kind of reminds me of a Wizard. And we both really like the Wizard for putters, especially putting. Neither of us throw a Wizard, really. I agreed. Now that I had a little bit more time with it, I think that this bead, like I said on like hole 5, that it's a bit more sharp. That Wizard has a more rounded bead, and also the Wizard is a bit taller. Now that I've had a bit more time with it, I think this is more closer to the Alter that I recently picked up from Thought Space Athletics. Shallower, has a bead, but it's not exactly like either of them. I'm trying to see if there's anything unique about it that I can tell you. So here's one thing. I didn't notice this before, and I might have to zoom in to really see. Come on, refocus. So you can see that this is kind of flat here on the bottom side. It's not like completely rounded if it hits the light right. And also where the bead goes in, the bottom of the disc looks to like go in this way, like hook in, and then the bead comes out. It's not just like flat and then the bead. It's like zook. Either way, I'm a fan of this disc. Not for the flight numbers on it, but for how it actually flies. I think it's comfortable. I like the flight of it. And I think this is going to outsell the Luna over time. I'm going to stand by that. I think this is a more comfortable disc than the Luna. I have a few friends who putt with them. And you know you're grabbing everybody's discs off the ground when people putt because no one makes it right. I'm just kidding. I should say we grab them out of the basket for a friend. I've held some. I don't throw them a lot, but I've held some. And I want to like it because Paul McBeth putts with it and he's so damn good. But it's like, I'm just not a fan for how it feels in my hand. This one, I prefer. If you like beaded putters and you didn't like the feel of the Luna, I think you'd like how the Kratos feels in your hand. And it's a cooler name. The Kratos, like, last hole, 232. We're going to throw this flat-ish to the right. Let it do that nice subtle fade. If it's junk, we're going to throw a couple of them. Or close. Like if I'm just feeling it. Yeah, we're definitely throwing another. You see how straight that is? Like, it's a good disc. Grabbing it one more time. Gonna do one more throw. If this video helped you decide if the Kratos is for you or not, please give it a like. Helps out the channel. If you have like any other input that you think would help somebody about the Kratos or the Luna comparison, put it in the comments and let's help out the disc golf community on if they should buy this disc or not. Not just based off of what I said, but the community here. If I haven't said it yet, thanks for being here. All right, last throw. We've been left. We've been right. Let's hit it. Oh, a bit too much hyzer. Or not hyzer, too nose up. Oh. 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 Not happening.